Jake's got me on hold for a minute.
Should we maybe do an extended work study session at the next meeting for the new members? Maybe just go back to an hour, and if we don't need the full hour, then we go to the bathroom or whatever. But would you guys want to do that? Have a longer work study session at the next meeting?
If you think we might need that.
It's up to you guys with like questions and stuff.
I could have started earlier too. I'm sorry about that. But.
It's not my fault.
I wouldn't mind.
I'm all for that. That sounds good.
You want to go hour early? Okay.
2:45.
Okay. 4:15 will be the start time at the next meeting.
May not be able to make that.
Obviously, we'll try to bring you up to speed. If you have any questions when you're reviewing your packet, I can take your call and help you through that.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
We're streaming now. Okay. We're streaming now. So we're going to stop our work study session and move to our regular meeting. So I'd like to call to order the January 17th, 2024 meeting of the Capital Improvement Board. If you please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We get a roll call from the clerk, please.
Emerson?
Here.
Moore?
Here.
Muta? Here. Prieto?
Here.
Rakos?
Here.
Salinas?
Here.
Button?
Here. All are present to attending by virtual media. Thank you. Next item on the agenda, it is our first meeting of the year, so we need to elect officers, or should I say officer, to be the office of Vice President. Is there any nominations for Vice President?
Mr. President.
Commissioner Muta.
I would like to make a motion to nominate Commissioner Jaime Prieto as Vice President of the Capital Improvements Board.
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any other nominations? I'd ask Commissioner Prieto, would you be willing to accept the assignment as Vice President?
I will gladly.
Thank you, Commissioner Prieto. Is any other discussion? I guess I would ask for a roll call for the nomination. I guess I'll close nominations, right? Nominations are closed. I would call a roll call for the election of Commissioner Prieto to serve as Vice President.
Emerson?
Yes.
Moore?
Yes.
Muta?
Yes.
Prieto?
Yes.
Rakos?
Yes.
Salinas?
Yes.
Button?
Yes. Motion carries 7 in favor, no dissension, 2 on Zoom. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is consideration of the past meeting minutes. You should have received a copy of the meeting minutes for December 11th, 2023. Is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Is there a second? Thank you, Councilman Emerson. It's been moved and properly seconded to approve the minutes for December 11th, 2023. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Roll call on the motion.
Emerson?
Yes.
Moore?
Yes.
Muta?
Yes.
Prieto?
Yes.
Rakos?
Yes.
Salinas?
Yes.
Button?
Yes, motion carries 7 in favor and no dissension. Next item on the agenda is a report on the work study session. Immediately prior to this meeting, this board met to review agenda items. Any other discussion? Hearing none, moving on. Item 7 is funding. Commissioner Moore.
Thank you, Mr. President. As of right now, we have not received our 4th quarter budget for 2023, nor have we received the first quarter budget for 2024. I'm hoping to have, as controller, I'm hoping to have those numbers prepared for the board as well as the mayor by the end of this month or beginning of the next month. The controller's office is working diligently to identify appropriate budgets to be dispersed to eligible recipients as determined by the gaming ordinance passed by the council. And we are also working to close out any open purchase orders. Any open purchase orders that are able to be closed at this point will be reappropriated into the Capital Improvement Board's budget and reflected on the projects report that is dispersed at the next meeting.
Thank you. Questions for Commissioner Moore? Hearing none, thank you very much for your fine report. Next item is item 8, matters from the mayor, council, and other departments. Anyone wishing to address the board from those entities? Hearing none, item 9 is old business. Is there any old business to discuss? Old business? Hearing none. Item 10 is new business. Item 10A is a funding allocation, Safe Streets and Roads for All, SS4A agreement for professional services with American Structure Point in the amount of $80,480. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved by Commissioner Moore, seconded by Commissioner Prieto. Is there any discussion? So for our new members, I usually sort of jump in here, if you'll allow me to sort of bring you up to date on each of these actions. I'll do them as they come up. Safe Streets and Roads for All is a grant that the City of Hammond received from the U.S. Department of Transportation. That grant totals the $80,400 from the U.S. government and another $20,120 as a local match. Most federal programs are matched at 80-20, although there are some, at least in my side of the work, which is generally construction-related projects. Sometimes highway safety improvement projects are funded 90-10, and there are some rare instances where it's 100% funded by federal highway or other federal departments. So this represents the federal portion. The complication that the city is having currently is that this board has only approved the local match portion, which is reflected as a direct cost to the city. We had not in the past funded the federal portion. And so this portion is 100% reimbursable by the federal government. And this would allow the engineering department to increase the purchase order amount or create another purchase order, however is best reflected through generally accepted accounting principles, that we fund the federal match portion and that we would be reimbursed for this portion, and therefore no additional cost to the city. And it is funding an action plan to look at the whole city to find out where our trouble spots are in order to try to reduce or hopefully eliminate traffic fatalities, both pedestrian and vehicular traffic fatalities and serious injuries. That's all I have. Is there any other discussion or questions?
Mr. President?
Yes, Commissioner Moore.
Just to add, from a financial standpoint, when we have those types of appropriations through this board, it will be reflected on our financial report as a receivable. So it's essentially an in and out and will net zero, so that way it doesn't impact what we have readily available to appropriate to various projects.
Basically, we don't want to draw down our budget that is money that will be reimbursed. So.
Exactly.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Any other discussion? Roll call on the motion.
Emerson,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Muda,
Yes.
Prieto,
Yes.
Rakos,
Yes.
Salinas,
Yes.
Button,
Yes, motion passes 7 in favor and no dissent. Next item is item B, 10B, that is funding allocation of Summer Street reconstruction, construction engineering with American Structure Point in the amount of $1,444,642.42. Do I have a motion to approve?
So move.
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Muda and properly seconded by Commissioner Moore for the Summer Street reconstruction, construction engineering. Is there any discussion? So similar to item 10A, 10B is being funded through the Northwestern Indiana Regional Planning Commission's money that they receive from Federal Highway. So Federal Highway money is being used to fund 80% of the construction engineering cost for the Summer Street project to observe the construction. So this is only the 80% match portion. It's identical to the previous action. I won't belabor the point, so the same rules apply here. Is there any other discussion? Any other discussion? Roll call on the motion.
Emerson,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Muta,
Yes.
Prieto,
Yes.
Rakos,
Yes.
Salinas,
Yes.
Button,
Yes, motion carries 7 in favor and no dissent. Next item on the agenda is item 10C, a funding allocation, City Hall siren relocation with Midwestern Electric in the amount of $22,710. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved by Councilman Rakos and properly seconded by Councilman Emerson for the City Hall siren relocation. Is there any discussion? The emergency siren that is north of City Hall in the lot that was formerly the police garage needs relocation, and it can be moved within 400 feet of its current location without triggering any concerns by Lake County EMA or FEMA. And so the plan is to relocate the siren to just immediately east of the City Hall parking lot in order to make way for proposed development of a 5-unit retail plaza that is intended to be constructed on the site immediately north of City Hall. Is there, and this was done through quotes by local contractors. Midwestern Electric was the low responsible quoter in the amount of $22,700. Is there any other discussion? Any other discussion? Roll call on the motion.
Emerson,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Muta,
Yes.
Prieto,
Yes.
Rakos,
Yes.
Salinas,
Yes.
Button,
Yes, motion carries 7 in favor and no dissent. Next item is item 10D, the funding allocation, NICD invoice number 6 to accommodate a new downtown Hammond station grade correction in the amount of $993.61. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved?
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Moore and properly seconded by Commissioner Muda for NICD invoice number 6. Is there any discussion? The city has agreed with NICD to fund approximately $1 million of corrective action in order to accommodate the downtown Hammond station. One item is to accommodate a grade change in order to build the platform at or near Russell Street, and the other is to construct a pedestrian tunnel at Russell Street along the NICD alignment. This is an invoice to cover the cost to progress the work for the grade change needed to accommodate the platform. And there remains approximately about $240,000 left in our commitment to fund those two changes. Is there any other discussion? Any other discussion? Roll call on the motion.
Emerson,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Muda,
Yes.
Prieto,
Yes.
Rakos,
Yes.
Salinas,
Not coming through, bud.
I think that was a yes.
Salinas,
You're
You're muted.
You're muted, Councilman Salinas.
Salinas, Button,
Yes. I do believe Councilman Salinas voted yes. I saw him mouth yes. I'm going to take that as a yes. And if he objects, I'll wait for him to wave his hands and say he does agree, and the motion is approved, 7 in favor and no dissent. Item 10E is our last action for this evening. Is funding allocation NICD invoice for Wabash widening in the amount of $86,620.90. Is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved by Councilman Rakos and properly seconded by Councilman Emerson to approve the NICD invoice for Wabash widening. Is there any discussion? The city asked for Wabash between basically the CSX tracks and Marble Street to be 10-foot wider in order to accommodate truck movements going into and out of Marble Street west of Wabash as it relates to future projects and current projects that are ongoing, particularly at 24 Marble. This funds all but the retainage portion of the project, so it's bulk of the work to be done. The full amount of the project that they will end up billing us is $91,979.59, but this is the invoice that they're requesting payment on at this point. Any other discussion? Any other discussion? Roll call on the motion.
Emerson,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Muda,
Yes.
Prieto,
Yes.
Rakos,
Yes.
Salinas,
Yes.
Button,
Yes. Motion carries 7 in favor and no dissent. Are there any other new business? Pardon my grammar. Is there any public expression? Anyone in the audience wishing to speak to the Capital Improvements Board? Anyone on Zoom wishing to speak to the council, to the Capital Improvements Board?
Say hello.
Greetings to you, young Miss Pareto. If there's nothing further, our next meeting is currently scheduled for February 5th, 2024, and I do know of at least one action that is forthcoming. So if there's nothing further, the chair would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved.
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved. It's been moved and properly seconded to adjourn the meeting. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.